Hey guys, dear Lord, I went to bed at 5 o'clock this morning. Um, Stupid fucking video. So the reason why yesterday's one was uploaded so late was because I recorded the video and had plenty of time, and was going to upload it, and then I started uploading it on my phone. And because of the fact that my brother comes down at the weekend to see his daughter, sometimes they go back, sometimes they don't. But when they don't go back, obviously they use the bandwidth for Netflix or BBC iPlayer for her. Then he watches Netflix when he goes to bed, and dear Lord, does my internet suck on a good day. So sitting around waiting for someone to get hold of the internet so that I could upload was a chore. So I thought, I'll copy it to my laptop and see if that uploads quicker, and then the file went. I don't mean went as in like, I don't mean went as in like it crashed or whatever. It went missing. So I spent 2 hours finding the video, to start uploading, for the laptop to crash, and not only did it crash, the video was also missing again. So yay for me, had to go and re-record it. So come 5 o'clock in the morning, when it's finally uploaded, and I'm hating literally everyone who comes within a 200 feet radius of me, it got uploaded, going blah blah blah. So I am so sorry that it got uploaded late. However, I have as a gift, as you saw, I gave you guys the I gave you guys the wonderful gift of me. Well, and by more me, I mean I sorted out a playlist for you guys. Right, sorry about that. I was looking for something. Now on to today's video. I get bored really easily, and when I get bored, I have like a lot of things that I normally do, but there are 10 key things that I only ever seem to do when I'm bored. And the kind of distracted bored where I'm like waiting for something. Just generally, I'm sitting around surrounded by all the technology and everything I have, and I'm like, I can't stand any of it. So for today's video, I think I share with you my top 10 Boredom-Busters. These are what I do when I'm like, I really want to do something, but I can't think of what I want to do. So in the end, I end up doing nothing and getting really pissy. But I usually find that if I do any of these 10, then within a while, I'm like, okay, no, I can actually find something to do now. So yeah, these are in no particular order. These aren't like number one is the one I always do, Dan. Whatever. These are just 10 boredom busters that I really find really help. So, like I say, no particular order, guys. So the first one I do is sketch. Now, I cannot draw. I will put my hand on my chest and admit that. I will throw my hands up in the air sometimes, saying, I'm Jack Sparrow. But I actually can't draw. For love nor money, I have tried so hard to teach myself to draw, and it always fails disastrously. But instead I sketch. I mean, I have a very traditional sketch that I always seem to do when I'm bored, is a castle on a hill. Anyone quotes Ed Sheeran lyrics at me, I'm going to kill you. But I will. I draw a castle on a hill on a stormy night. Well, I sketch a castle on a hill on a stormy night, and like a soldier walking up the hill to get there. I have no idea what it symbolises. I have no idea what it means. But it's always stuck in my head. So yeah, I tend to use that to help me really boredom bust. And I found that really helps. Like, it helps a lot. So, But yeah, no, so I do. I will just get a piece of paper and start sketching whatever. And I'm not quite sure. Sorry, thought of something the other day and just made me kind of flinch. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is, but I will always sketch something. And usually it's a building. It's some kind of a building on a stormy night on top of a hill with a guy in the picture somewhere. Anyone can analyse that and tell me what it is. I'll really appreciate it. My second one is eat. I am a very bad boredom eater. I also eat a hell of a lot. I mean, yesterday, well, actually no, Thursday was probably the worst day for my eating. I had lunch at work. I have a volunteer gig, so I was at that. I ate lunch at work. I had lunch. I had a couple of slices of toast before I left, and and I had dinner when I got in. And normally, if I can just survive on 2 of those, and you know, it's pretty alright. I eat enough to get on with it, and I just usually that's enough to get through. But because I got so bored on Thursday outside of work, I was in such a bad state. I was constantly eating. I was like constantly eating. I always had a bag of crisps, or I'll have a chocolate bar or a cake or something, and I constantly will sit there and eat it, which is really bad considering that I try and control my eating because my tablets slow down my metabolism. So I eat way more than I actually should do, and because of that, I put on weight quite easily. If you go back and look at my older videos, like my first 2 or 3 videos, you will notice that my face is nowadays is a lot less angular than that was. I mean, that's also a sign of getting older. I mean, like I said, I was like 21, 22 when I made my first YouTube video, and I'm 29 now. But yeah, no, I have a real bad habit of eating. Number 3 will be I will write. I am a huge writing fan. There is this thing called National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, as you guys may know it. And it's like an annual thing, usually October. Every year I will, you set yourself a challenge to write 50,000 word novel in 30 days. I started it 3 years ago, and I've always ended up completing it. And when I'm leading up to that kind of period, I tend to write story concepts and a brief script summary, so I can look at it and go, am I going to pursue this one this year? Am I not? And I know what I'm going, and I can imagine where it's going to head. At the moment, there's not a real big one going through my head at the moment, so I'm writing a lot of poetry and song lyrics. Coffee. Yeah, poetry or song lyrics, or that general kind of stuff. Looking at something and hoping that it will generate a kind of spark to give me an idea for a book. Number 4, fourth thing I do when I'm bored, which makes me really popular around home. Go away, Whisper. Is I will tidy up. If I'm bored and I need to do something but I can't think of anything to actually actively go and do, I tidy up. I tidy my room 3 times a week through boredom. I mean, I've done a mega big clean this week, but 3 times a week I'll just go around and start sprucing my room up, just because of the fact that I get really bored really quickly, and I have to. And because of that, if I go with my friends, it gets so much worse. If they're playing on, because I have a lot of friends who are obviously real techies, or real gamers, and if they're gaming and I'm not really into the game that they're playing, I just get up and start tidying up their house. I have a friend who lives on a ground floor flat, and he plays some games that I really don't like, or I really struggle to get into. So I will, at that point, just go around and tidy up his flat. Which is great for him, because he gets a nice tidy flat while playing video games, and I get to bust my boredom. Ironically enough, 5th thing I do is play video games. I like having games where I'm actually really pushing for something. I play survival horror, RPGs, usually JRPGs, but I do play some Western ones. Platform, and action adventure kind of games, and sorry, and I really enjoy them. I think I play them primarily because of the fact of I get really I like games that I can really get into storylines with. It's the reason why I still play Tomb Raider games, Resident Evil games. Final Fantasy is another one, obviously, that I have a huge fandom crush on. And if I'm bored and I can't think of anything to do, I play video games, and it usually inspires for me to go, I could do this, and then I'll get on and do it. But it can get really like where I'll get even fed up with playing video games. So we're halfway through. Number 6 is I talk about nonsense. Like, I will ream off stupid facts. I will talk about things that never happen, but probably will do. Or I will talk about things that like I've experienced that like make no sense in the current situation. That's primarily more when I'm bored of a subject people are talking about. I am friends with a huge group of come back guys, where you going? There we go. One sec. There we go. I'm friends with a huge group of filmmakers, but the big problem there is the fact that I'm not a film producer. Didn't load. Sorry guys. I'm not a film producer, and because I'm not a film producer, I don't really understand what they're saying. And so while they're talking about but this style of camera angle, or but this like production cut style, and I'm like, anyone see the new Fall Out Boy song? Because obviously I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm saying in those kind of situations. And I don't want to make myself sound like I actually do know, because I'm not a fucking jackass. But because of that, I have to ramble on about like things that are disconnected, or I have to usually sit there for like hours and hours saying nothing, because of the fact that I just don't know what I'm doing, or I know nothing about whatever everyone else is talking about, or whoever everyone else is talking about. Number 7 is I will play my bass guitar. Now, I actually own a lot of instruments. I own 2 electric guitars. One is tuned as a lead, and one is tuned as a rhythm. A bass guitar. I'm getting an electric drum kit at some point, and a kazoo. Now, the kazoo is more of a joke thing than anything else. My friend Nathan, my friend Nathan, name will not be changed, says I look like the boy from the U1 Kazoo videos as a kid because I have a bright blonde mullet. And yes, I mean blonde. It was about year 2, year 3, so I was literally just at kindergarten. And yeah, I had this huge like shoulder neck, mid neck point length mullet as a kid. And just after the U1 Kazoo video kind of became a meme, like everyone was commenting on the fact that I look like it. And so when I had my birthday, my friend Nathan bought me a kazoo as a joke present, and trust me, I kind of wanted to slap him, but at the same point I could kind of see, because that's his humour, and that's the kind of humour me and him share. We have a really nonsensical level of humour, but it really works between the two of us. But yeah, no, going back to like playing my bass, I will play either Rocksmith, or I will play, or I'll hook it up to my amps and actually play something or write something on for myself. Because after all, I'm currently working on an album, and so it's just a case of like wanting to see how I'm going to toy with bass levels. I really don't play my electric guitars all that much. I think primarily that's because of the fact of I'm so much more proficient on bass that I find it easier to play bass, or whether or not it's just out of sheer because I play my bass so much, my bass becomes my routine. But anyway, no, I primarily do play my bass more than I play most of my other instruments. Number 8 will be I will mix CDs. If I'm particularly feeling a song or an album or a group at the moment, I will use iTunes Genius. Yes, I'm one of those weird people who actually use iTunes Genius. And I'll mix a CD up. My CD player is constantly filled with a variation of CDs that I've mixed, because of either certain events or certain feelings. Sorry, guys. And because of that, I constantly am mixing up CDs and I'm mixing up playlists all the time. And I do find that a real boredom buster. I find listening to like different variants of music is like, this is making me feel like this. I could write about this, or this is making me feel. This is making me think of this time. I can use that and I can use how I felt or how I experienced that situation and make it work for me in another. Or make it work for me in like book form or a story form or something like that. I have a cold sore, and because of that, I can use that to like build me into like a new mood or build me into a new story or whatever. So it all kind of circles back round to itself, which is really cool, but at the same point, it's really like weird. Number 9. Sorry, is rearrange furniture. I get bored of the way my room looks very easily. I've actually just recently kind of completely redone the layout of my bed. Well, not completely redone the layout of my bedroom, but I've reshaped my bedroom into a more of an environment that works for me. Because there are certain parts of my room, or there are certain parts of like my stuff that I couldn't get access to, so I ended up reshuffling my room around a bit, and it works and looks so much better now than it did in the previous layout. Obviously, some things are still the same. My bed is still where it is, which is why you can still see my geek wall over my shoulder. I can't really point over that shoulder because that's my bedroom door, and like that's not my wall. But yeah, and I will just get bored. I mean, I can't do that obviously in like my living room or whatever because it's not mine to shuffle about. I mean, I'll help if my mum wants it moved around, but primarily it's kind of, okay, that's yours, this is mine. We know how this works kind of thing, let's just leave as. But if she doesn't want it shuffled, I'll come up and I'll shuffle my own bedroom around. And it kind of re-changes the energy. It is literally like feng shui for me. It changes the energy of the room, changes the energy within me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And because of that, it shuffles everything, and everything gets kind of, oh, okay, I'm in a better headspace I'm in a better headspace, and I'm in a better reception to sort things out, move things around, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And like I say, it really works. And number 10 is I am notorious for this. I sleep when I get bored. It's kind of 50-50 between does this count as laziness or is this passing time because of boredom. I get frustrated if I can't do anything and I've tried everything else. It's really a last resort. But if I really can't think of anything to do, I'll go to sleep for like 15-20 minutes, wake up and then be like, now I can work on it. But it's because of the fact that I have that huge problem. Well, it's not a huge problem. I do have a problem with, I'm always up really late, till really late hours. I don't go to bed till really late hours. And because of all of that going on at the same time, everything just feels very busy and very neglected. And it gets really hard because obviously I'm not living up to my fullest extent if I'm up until 5 and getting up and not getting up till 3, because that's half of a day wasted. And I get really irritable when with like wasting time, because I'll sit around and go, well, I've really done nothing today. I have thought of other ways of like trying not to fall asleep when I'm bored or whatever, and like I said, primarily going to sleep to cure boredom is a huge kind of last resort for me. But it does happen, and I get just as frustrated as everyone else thinks I get, because I'm sat around and I'm like, I'll go to sleep, wake up and be like, but I could have done so much more with that time. And it does wind me up, and I try not to let it, but it can be really frustrating. Anyway, guys, I know this has been kind of a really kind of shallow and kind of video, and I've not really gone into details about me. I have a couple of other videos. I'm going to do a Q&A session hopefully with a sibling. And I'm hoping, if she says yes, you'll see the relationship I have with my sister, one of my sisters who I get along really well with. I do have a few other videos that like I really want to get deep into, and I'll like really great. Try that one again. I do have a few videos that are really deep and will really show kind of the me side of things, which I can't wait to share for you guys. I won't do a few shallow videos and mixing with the deeper videos, because I genuinely get so wound up if everything's too deep or everything's too shallow or everything feels like the same. Like I did 6 weeks worth of Final Fantasy / video game top 10s, and I got pissed off because that solved nothing. But anyway, guys, once again, feel free to follow me on my social stuff below. That's all underneath. Sorry today's been kind of a not quite conceptualized video, but hey, it's the way I do it. You guys know this by now. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Know that I actually really do appreciate and love each and every one of you. You could be a viewer, subscriber, follower, tweeter, whatever. But it does really help me a lot. It really makes me feel good. But anyway, I've been rambling for you guys far too long. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of each other. Bye.